everyone. This is Leena Khandekar, founder and director of International Lee's Beauty and Spa Institute. As you all know, I am coming up with a series of interviews with beauty industry experts and other industry experts like IT sectors, travel agencies. So the reason behind this is to understand the latest trends, career opportunities in beauty and various fields. I feel very proud and privileged to be hosting this series and success of it with inspirational and aspirational. I am sure it will serve as a ready-made guide to those who want to start their own business. I would like to begin my today's interview with a very dynamic personality from IT industry, Dr. Anand Deshpande. He is a founder, chairman, and managing director of Persistent Systems since its inception, and it's responsible for the overall leadership, strategy, and management of the company. Thank you so much, Anandji, for this interview today and your valuable time with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. And it's been a real pleasure working with you through the Asra Foundation. And I really appreciate the help that you have provided all the entrepreneurs and the inspiration you are for all the entrepreneurs, especially in the beauty and wellness and the spa industry. So really happy and delighted to be here with you today.
Thank you so much, sir. It's really a pleasure always working with the Asra and team. And the way the Asra is working, I really like the way they are working and the backing and the team support they are giving to a small scale business. Thank you so much. I would like to introduce Anandji to you all. As a true technology visionary, Anand's strengths lie in identifying and investing in next generation technologies and encouraging internal entrepreneurship to ensure that Persistent Systems stays at the forefront of technology innovation. Anand has been driving force in growing Persistent Systems from its inception in 1990 to publicly traded global company of today's. Prior to founding Persistent Systems, Anand began his professional career at Hewlett Packard Laboratories in Palo Alto, California, where he worked as member of technical staff from. Anand has served numerous positions at various professional and non-profit organizations. Anand is a founding member of Inspirit, India's first product think tank, started with the vision of creating a vibrant entrepreneurial ecosystem in India. With members of his family, he has established the Asra Foundation, a non-profit entity which focuses on creating self-employment at scale. Anand is married to Sonali and they have a daughter and a son. Thank you so much, Anandji, for your valuable time again.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Leena. It's a real pleasure to be here at this event with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I would like to begin my today's interview. My first question to you is how to grow or expand business even post-lockdown with the current financial situations?
Right. It's a difficult situation that we are all in at this moment. Clearly, because of the lockdown, all of a sudden we had to shut our businesses down and pretty much everybody has been locked in and working from home in different forms. So under these conditions, small businesses should follow, and I'm going to share 6 different things that they should be thinking about to see how to manage the current situation and also to look at how to look at growing the business in the future. So the first thing that I would recommend in this whole context is how to manage cash. So cash management is always a very important part of any business. In this kind of a difficult time when cash is going to be a problem, you have to collect money aggressively and make sure you're not spending too much. So any expense that is not essential needs to be delayed or deferred. And that is really an important part of what you need to do with cash management. And anytime you can get the extra cash that you can hold on, that cash is really the fuel for the business. So the longer you can extend the cash you have with you, the longer you will stay in business. So it's very important to really focus on cash conservation and cash management. The second item that is very important in this kind of a context is that when you are working with employees, all the employees are restless. They are very worried. What is going to happen to their jobs? What are they going to do next? and all of those kinds of things. So as employers, it's our responsibility to work with them, reassure them, and take care of their financial needs, but also look a little bit about their emotional and other needs, because a lot of people at this moment are extremely disturbed, and the job and continuity of job creates a lot of challenges for them. Everyone understands that the employer is in trouble, we don't have business coming in, but keeping the employees in sync and giving them a true picture of what's happening actually makes it a lot better than hiding things from them. You don't want them to assume things about your business which are not true. The third important item is to look at customers. Now, what happens in a tight situation like that? Customers are not able to come to you. So it is important that you reach out to them, send them some tips, talk to them frequently, see and make sure that you are not going to lose them. When the lockdown opens up and when they have a need, they should come back to your business and not go to someone else. And this is kind of important that you stay in touch with your customers and see how you can stay engaged with them. Can you do something with them so that they feel like you are part of the community, you are supporting them, and when you need them, they'll be there for you. And if you don't do this, unfortunately, somebody else may be doing that to your customers. So it's kind of very important that you take care of your customers. The fourth thing that I would mention is that at this point, it is very important to use this opportunity and the time that you have to build internal capabilities. So is it possible to figure out what kind of things you wanted to always do, but you were not able to do? Maybe there were some systems that needed to be written down, or there need to be operating processes or some training that you needed to do. So whatever it takes to build internal capabilities and internal strength, this is the time to really look at that. The fifth thing to think about is to think about business models. So is it likely that you can change your business model? Is it possible to do a little different kind of billing? Are there any other ways that you can leverage the new systems that might be there? Because we are shut down, we might come back. Are you open to maybe providing some services online? Is it possible to convert some of the business from delivering to maybe training or engaging with customers? So are there any other business models that one can look at? And then finally, this is a good time to think about technology. Is it possible to leverage new technology opportunities to see how you can maybe look at the world differently? When we come back, we are going to have to see social distancing. So do you have a formal system to do appointments? If you don't, does it make sense to do appointments so that you are not keeping people waiting? Or are there maybe some other techniques? Are you looking at, people paying you online or something like that, so you have less cash to be dealt with? Are there any other gadgets that you can get which are touchless in some form? And many of these other things that are available right now, this is a good time to think about technology and see how we can leverage that.
Thank you, Mr. Anand, for showing us faith from your perspective, and I'm sure that everyone will get benefit out of it. My next question is, what type of services and products must we offer post-lockdown for clients or customers if it is a service industry?
Yes, see, the thing is, because of the way the world is changing, both the customers and the individuals are all sort of thinking very differently right now. So because of lockdown, we have been all working from home. But there is also a lot of restlessness at homes. People are concerned how they would go back to work, what do they need, and all of these kinds of things. So if you think about it, the need for service has not gone away. The way you deliver service needs to change. So everyone still needs that service. It's just that you will not be able to deliver it the same way you used to deliver in the past. So you might have to do something different in this context. So now with this COVID, we know we are going to have to do social distancing. We may have to work in a model where, we may have to curtail the working hours. We might be able to do some home services and certain other services, which are especially high touch services. We'll have to find ways to see how we can, modify those services so that they can be performed with lower touch and many of those kinds of things. So those are ideas that I think you are very much familiar with. So I'm sure you are the expert in this. I'm hardly an expert in the beauty industry, but I can tell you that by and large, businesses need to think differently because the world as we look at in the future is going to be different from the way it was in the past.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for your advice, and I'm sure that if we opt for it and if we go as per this advice, I think we will have less difficulties and we will have less challenges. And even if we have a challenges, I think we can confidently handle it. Thank you so much. In our sector, maximum for the upcoming era of digital transactions, what would you like to suggest for this preparedness for business which did not really follow this up until now?
Right. I think digital transactions are here to stay. More and more people are now open to doing digital transactions, and the support that you have from UPI and Beam is quite good. So small businesses and traders can really benefit from taking money online from customers. Customers are willing to pay using UPI and some of these transactions. It is also convenient for the small business to collect all that money easily without having to pay any additional costs for doing them, because the rates for collecting money on UPI currently is all free. So it is possible to collect money without having to pay any extra charge. And it's very easy to set up a UPI account and to start to connect and transact money from customers very easily. The other thing that is coming up and that may be very useful is that people are looking at flow-based lending. What that means is that small services businesses do not operate with very high collateral. So typically when you go to a bank, the bank will say you don't have enough collateral to get bank loans. But the beauty of these services businesses is that you are doing lots of transactions every day, and there is a lot of cash turns that you are doing in your business. So there is flow happening in the business. So is it possible to lend on the basis of that flow rather than on the basis of collateral? So there is a whole lot of initiative coming up from the Reserve Bank of India and other places where people are looking at flow-based lending. But to make this flow-based lending possible, you will need to do your transactions electronically so that the lender can see the activity on your transactions and then potentially use that to decide how much to lend to you. And that will also help your credit scores and other things as well.
This is a very good advice you have given, but my question here is mainly in service industry. If I talk about beauty and wellness, most of the salons, I'm talking in terms of small salons as well as big salon change. Many a times people, they don't want to pay GST. So in that case, they try and pay in cash. And now we are talking like, digital payment and e-payment. So people may get afraid, having that much of cash coming in bank account, and they will have to pay some taxes on it. So what would you like to say on this? How they can change their mindset?
No, I think, most customers would be willing to pay GST even though, and they should pay GST. So I think this whole tax that you have to pay on GST is a good thing, and everybody needs to sort of accept it. I think it is not fair to squeeze the government on those small amounts of, service tax or GST tax that needed. There's a reason why that is there, and I think everyone should adopt and accept it. And I think most customers do not have a problem when you charge GST as well. So I think you should charge the GST extra from the customers and charge it, but pay the government for the GST that is needed. So I think overall the benefits of this are significant and it's worthwhile. These are still small amounts in the whole scheme of things.
Thank you so much, sir, for addressing this question. And I'm sure if, we all must pay GST because it is going to helpful for even small scale as well as large scale business. And as sir mentioned, if you have a good landing, then definitely banks will offer you good amount of loan. Thank you, sir.
Correct. And another related point I want to mention is that right now there's been a lot of discussion that I've been part of, where because the small businesses don't have GST, EPF, and any of these other things that are typically there for larger businesses, it's very hard for the government to identify what businesses are doing and what their needs are. Yeah. How much loans do they need? How much money should that be provided? So that particular problem will get addressed if people look at a little bit of a formal way of how they want to do their businesses, And if they sort of formalize some of these things, I'm very sure that in the long term, the growth that they will see will justify paying all of these taxes.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for this advice, sir. And I think we, each one of us, must follow this advice. And if we do that, I think it is going to benefit to us itself. Sir, my next question is, are there any financial support or schemes for small term capital or cash? I remember you mentioned about the Astra. So please, we would like to know about it, sir.
So, see, the Asra Foundation, we have been working for the last 5 years to help individual small businesses improve their way of doing businesses. So we have identified potential places where small businesses run into difficulties, whether it is finding bank loans, finding how to do marketing, how to do social media work, or how to do compliance and other things. So we have templated all of those processes for these businesses. We are able to take small businesses to banks to see if banks can give you loans. We also have partnerships with NBFCs who can give funding to small services businesses. At this moment, we are also working out a COVID special package targeted to services businesses where we can give you some loans through an NBFC, where the NBFC will give you a loan so that you can pay over a period of time to take care of some of the additional costs that might be needed when you restart your business. So potentially some salaries have to be paid, some rent may be due, some other payments are to be done. The shop or other things may have to be refitted for social distancing. So you might need some partitions and all that. So those are the kinds of things that you might have expenses for. And the Asra Foundation is trying to partner with NBFCs to help you get that funding. So if you go to our website, you should be able to see some information on this.
Thank you so much, sir. I think the Astra is really supporting all small scale businesses, and I think this will help each one of us. And whoever is willing to do that, please go to the Astra's website and please have a look and inquire more about it. Sir, in what way or dimension will business work, livelihood change post-lockdown?
Right. So I think, the world post-lockdown is going to be very different, clearly. And I think it is going to depend a lot on the businesses as well. So every time you have a disruption of this kind, right, the world order or the business order changes. So people who were going to a certain set of customers, a certain set of shops, or certain set of beauty salons or services, they are likely to look at a fresh view and say, oh, well, can I go somewhere else? So if you're looking at ways to advertise, this is probably a good time to tell people. Unless there is some real disruption, people tend to go to the same places they've always been to. So this is a good way to think about new things. If you offer something that is unique and different that other people are not offering, this is a good time to really launch new services, new activities. Another suggestion that I would have right now is that, as you look at your next set of things, maybe you should offer your customers a package that says, give us some cash now, meaning money in advance, and we can give you a subscription of 10 haircuts over the next 12 months or whatever else you might think is appropriate. So that way you have a way of getting the customer locked in because you have given them a discount coupon or a coupon of some sort that says you can get these services over the next 12 months, but you're paying for them in advance. So it takes care of your short-term cash, but then you also have a lock-in for a customer for the next 12 months or so. So I think it's time to really think of how you are going to keep your customers, your customers, then they don't go anywhere else.
I think if we follow this strategy, I'm sure it will benefit us. And each one of us, this is a right time, as Sir rightly mentioned, that this is a right time to think about yourself and plan your strategies and implement it accordingly. Thank you so much. My next question, sir, you have mentioned that there are some internal capabilities. So on basis of that, I would like to know how to work and focus on personal development and internal capabilities for self-betterment.
Right. So this is a service that you provide all the time. So this is your area of expertise. But in general, what has happened, especially in the cities, is that by and large, customers are willing to pay a premium for good service. So how do you provide good service? How do you provide, a good setup, uh, stores that look clean and are well set up? So there's a whole bunch of things like that, small things that individuals and the business can do that can make the business and the individual feel like they have been upgraded. And that is always something that people are willing to pay extra premium for. So I think this is a good time to think about, are there any skills that you would want to acquire that you were not there? Are there some new techniques you can figure out? Are there any other maybe English language skills or any other skills that you might do that might be appropriate? Are there any other, color paint that you can do to improve your look and feel on the store or any of those things? So these are all ideas to think about, but while you do them, of course, you need to conserve cash. So you have to manage this carefully in terms of how much you want to spend on some of these areas versus what is important and urgent now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for addressing this question. I think we all, as Anandji mentioned, we really have to conserve cash. Think about your capabilities, do a strategy planning, decide your statements, what exactly your role will be. And I think one must better themselves for the organization to grow and to grow with it. And I am confident this will help one and all. So thank you, sir, for even for addressing this question. My another question is about basically we have our clientele is mainly IT sector. And if we see basically what will be the impact of work from home post lockdown, because it's not about only beauty and wellness sector, but it may affect on hospitality and even travel and tourism business.
Yeah, so I think this is a good question. In the short term, I think this has an impact, but in the long term, I think everybody is interested in beauty and wellness. And if you're working from home, doesn't mean you don't need beauty and wellness services. So I think those will all come back. I do believe that people will be, some of the services that are being provided will continue to be in demand. It is true that, right now, because all of us are locked in, we are working from home. Yeah. I do expect work from home to continue for a longer period. But one of the things that work from home has done is it's provided flexibility to people so that they can work at different times of the day. They can work from home. So people who are managing with families and other things, they will find it much easier to work on this. So I think the beauty and wellness business might also benefit from this, that people are working from home, so you could provide them service at home, or you can be more flexible about providing services at different places. So, the store itself might get distributed. So I think delivering service to the point where people are, I think is going to start to become very interesting and important. So potentially, the mobile beauty services, or people who actually go to somebody's house or in office locations or wherever else to provide haircuts and other things is starting to become, I think, more and more important. And you will see that it has an advantage as well, because, you don't have to block that much of your own real estate space in the shop, and you could be more willing to go to people's homes to get these services to happen.
Yeah.
And one can charge premium as well to do that.
Yeah. Because why I asked you this question, because in our field, we are just talking to each other, and many of them are having a huge rent, that is a liability.
Correct.
Have on them, and even small scale business, even they have to pay 20,000 per month. It's kind of a liability for them. And because they are thinking of a future business, they are thinking that we might close now. So on that
Correct.
perspective, I was asking you this question.
No, I think it's a very valid question. And as I mentioned, if people are going to work from home, you could be delivering service to them at home. So you could probably do a good business without actually even having to have a place of your own, because you may be able to, hire people who are not coming to office or coming to your store, but are delivering service from customers' homes. So that may be actually providing you a good opportunity to save costs of rent while still delivering a good service to people at home.
I'm sure this will bring out more optimism for the viewers. And my last question, sir, would you like to say something to the viewers?
No, I just want to, I'm a very optimistic person. I think while we are in a very difficult situation at the moment, and things are difficult and it seems like, oh, where will this end? I believe that, we will all survive and do well. And this will create a lot more opportunities in the future than we have seen in the past. So all I see is that these new opportunities are going to be different from the way the world was before. But it is not for lack of opportunity. So anybody who is dynamic, willing to try new things, and is persistent will always have new things to do. So I just encourage all of you to sort of hang in there, think about new ways of how you could deliver your service, and I'm very sure all of you will have more business in the future than you used to have in the past.
Thank you so much. I couldn't have asked for a better viewpoint and guidance, and I am extremely hopeful for a stable future due to your perspective, even during the current uncertain times. And thank you so much, Anandji, for guiding us on each aspect. This is really going to be incredibly helpful to us. And thank you so much once again for your time and for enlightening us on such broad aspect and the near future. So take care.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I wish you and your viewers all the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. You all are amazing. Stay tuned with us for the next interview coming soon. Stay home, stay safe. If you have any questions, you can always text us or you can write us. And please like, comment, and share this video. Thank you once again.
Thank you.